So, don't mind me, I got out of the shower and I've been trying to record this video. My thoughts were really clear in the shower, and then as soon as I started recording, everything jumbled up. So I've written it down on my laptop. So it's not scripted, there's only a few notes. But I wanted to talk about this experiment that I've done that I don't think many people have actually done, for a few reasons why they haven't done it, but that's not what this video is about. I can't be bothered. To be perfectly honest with you, the experiment is leaving everything behind, cutting ties in a way, physically cutting ties. I don't mean you don't call your parents and you ghost all your friends. I mean physically cutting ties with everything back home, your routine, your lifestyle, your work, the connection, the real connection that you have. And a great way to do that is to move abroad for a short period of time, to travel a lot. But specifically, don't overdo the traveling. Don't overdo the moving place to place. If you're staying in each place for 2 nights and all you do is explore and experience novel things, then it might not have the same effect. Even though that sounds very fun and good for you if you do that. I mean kind of like staying in the same place a bit and maybe having a few days to really experience the lifestyle and get into a routine. That is what I'm talking about. The main reason why this experiment has been useful to me, and to be specific, I've moved from the UK where I've lived my whole life, and I have decided to travel to Japan. Obviously I'm going back to the UK, but I wanted to see this. One of the reasons I did, because I wanted to see if Japan was a place I would live in the future, just from things that I've heard about it politically and in terms of what the people are like and what the lifestyle is like. We can get more into that later, but the grass is always greener on the other side is what they say. Very famous saying, I don't know where it's from, but it's an important lesson that I have learned. In our imagination, we have an incredible idea of this other lifestyle, this other place, and a lot of the time it's not all that it's hyped up to be. At the end of the day, if you're already living in a Western country, a modernized country, the next Western modernized country isn't going to be a whole lot more convenient or developed, and it might actually be worse in some ways. And that's kind of the conclusion I come to about Japan, even though I love many things about it. Generally, lifestyle, routine kind of sucks a bit for me, just based on my life goals and my life, the weird things about me. But even though I've done this experiment and maybe I came to a conclusion that I didn't really first expect myself coming to, I haven't lived my whole life wondering what if, I would have kept that idea of it in my imagination. I would have never actually gone to experience it. So just get to see. If you have a place, or if you have a specific job that you want to try and do, or a career, or a business endeavor, who knows, right? Just get to see if you like it. Like, stop thinking on it. Stop waiting for it. Just, if you have the ability to, if you're fortunate enough as me, to save a bit of money and fucking go across the world and experience what it's like to live like in Japan, then do it. If you want to do it while you're young, if you are young, or just do it. Like, even if you're older, like, you've got to see, right? That's the first lesson. The grass is always greener on the other side, but it's actually not. Obviously you understand that. Another great thing is that you get to learn parts of your life back home that you really liked, and you also get to see the parts that you don't like. One thing I don't like about back home is that there's no aircon. That's probably, like, in most buildings, in most houses, don't have aircon. That's really irrelevant, to be honest. Just because it's on my mind because it's a hot day here today. There's just one example of the things that I don't like back home, but in many ways I do prefer the UK. There are definitely more like crackheads in the UK, and more, if you walk through a town centre, you probably don't feel as safe as here in Japan. But generally speaking, my lifestyle and routine, I enjoy a lot more in the UK. Um, when you I assimilate a lot more with the culture. Obviously, I grew up in the UK, but I really like it in many ways. I like the supermarkets. I like the portion size. I like this. I like a lot of the social norms um, that I kind of didn't realize I liked until I left. I feel people are a lot more open in the UK than they are in Japan. Like it's not as hard to make a new friend here in the UK as Japan. In Japan, people seem more closed off, and obviously the language barrier and the culture. I understand that, but generally, from my understanding of it, now I've been here for a while, is that there's less spontaneity about social things, even though it still exists. Don't get me wrong; it's more of a minority compared to the UK. Young people, um, I think young people they're a bit more into that. That's another thing. But yeah, you learn parts of your life and parts of the place or parts of the job, etc., etc. You can see where I'm going with this. That you really dislike and like. This is really common sense, really, but experiencing it firsthand, you get a lot more insight. The last thing I wanted to share was are my life circumstances because of where I live, or my life circumstances because of the nature of my mind? So, a big example I want to bring up is stress. So, when I was in the UK, just before I left, I was working a lot to afford this trip, mostly, and I was mentally stressed a lot, and it kind of took a toll on me. And even though now I'm traveling, I've got less stress. You'd like to think the nature of my mind, it kind of likes stress, kind of is attracted to being stressed. It kind of sucks to be honest, but like I've kind of had to train that out of me for a little bit. It took me a while. For example, I'm in no rush. I've got all day, but I'm stressing over getting this train, even though there's another train in 10 minutes. Or I'm getting annoyed by someone cutting in front of me while I'm walking down the street. And in the same way, I would get annoyed when a customer at my job would like say a really stupid question or be an inconvenience to me. Um, I am getting stressed again, and it goes to show that it is the nature of my mind, not the nature of where I live, what I'm doing, right? It's kind of already embedded in here, and the external thing is a manifestation of what's going on in here, whether it's the customer or whether it's the person cutting in front of you or the train or trying to get the train on time. Like I wasn't even scheduled to be anywhere, right? Also, just time to think. I think if you might have heard of the accommodation theory. A friend of mine introduced it to or reintroduced it to me, and kind of been on my mind. Accommodation theory is kind of like we all change how we act, change how we behave, because of like the people in our life at that certain time. And if you stop spending as much time with those people because you move away or because you want to experiment with a new social life, for example, then you'll get to see what parts of the things you like and dislike are because of accommodation theory or because of what you actually like. It's kind of hard sometimes to see that, especially if it's been a long time, you've been in the same circle, you've been in the same routine and lifestyle. It's kind of hard to see, am I doing this because everyone else does it? Do I enjoy this because everyone else enjoys it? It's really easy to get to see that once you step back. So yeah, my number one piece of advice, I guess, coming to the end of the video, is try it for yourself. If you have a what if in your mind, do it. You will learn so fucking much about yourself, about your life, about your routine, about everything, really. But if you go, and I just want to specify this, if you go away for 2 weeks, 3 weeks, and the novelty is still there, the adventure is still there, you're quote unquote living somewhere else, then it's probably not long enough. It's more classified as a holiday / vacation. Obviously, not everyone has the privilege to do what I've done, but keep that in mind. If you're going to do an experiment like this, but you could only spare 2 or 3 weeks, maybe don't maybe make it more of like a go into it with less of an intention to experience a place, but more to experience like a lifestyle. So for example, if you were living in the UK and you wanted to see what it was like to do what I've done, maybe go to somewhere like, I don't know, Paris or somewhere closer, Germany or Poland or whatever, somewhere closer, but have a few weeks. Don't make it a tourist holiday. Maybe even go somewhere you've been before. Don't make it a touristy destination. Just be like, oh yeah, I'm chilling in this place for a while, just to have time to think, just to have this. And obviously there is a financial cost of this kind of experiment, but I think it's, even though this trip and experiment has cost me a lot of money, I think it's one of the best financial investments I've made for my life, because I'll never actually have to, or it'll be a long time until I feel the need to do this sort of experiment again, and I mean decades. I think it's changed a lot of the way I think about the UK and my home and my routine. So yeah, I want to end it there because I think that's a great place to end it. Thank you for watching again. If you like this. If you like me, subscribe. Thank you.